So I got this truck yesterday at auction, as I posted in the video yesterday. First thing first, I'm gonna change the oil on it. Oil was old, dirty. Even if it wasn't, I'd probably change it anyway, just to make sure I've got like a fresh baseline. I know exactly when it's been changed. So first thing I'm gonna do is change the oil on it. It was running low as well. So as I drive it over the next few weeks, I typically will drive them several weeks personally myself before I go ahead and sell them, just so I know like, okay, there's no lights coming on, there's none of that, no issues, you know, those sorts of things. Can kind of drive them, feel them like this one needs alignment. I drove it yesterday. I knew it needed alignment from driving it. So I'm going to get an alignment on it on Monday. So, you know, those sorts of things. So first thing first, let's change the oil. I just want to kind of show you this because this is in kind of a weird place. So the plug is actually right there. So I got my crossbar here. There was something hanging from there. Looks like it got ripped off at some point. You know, with auction trucks, you never can tell. Got ripped off at some point. But the plug is actually on the side rather than on the underside, which is interesting. And I figured that out because my oil filter is actually sitting right over, where's it at? Hard to see. Right there, there we go. Sorry, I had to move around some parts. So my oil filter's sitting right there, and I was like, okay, well, where's the stupid plug at then? And my plug is on the side of it, right there. So weird position, but no big deal. Already got it broken loose. Thankfully, it wasn't super tight. And let's go ahead and drain it. And as expected, it is getting all over the place because, you know, they put it in such a weird position that it's quite literally getting all over the place because of where they put the oil plug at. So I've got mainstream there, I got a secondary one there, I got a little one there. Thankfully I got a pretty big oil catch pan here, so it's catching it all. But kind of annoying where they put it at. You know, it's getting all kind of all over the place. This one does take 5W20, as you can see from the oil fill cap on this one. If you're unfamiliar with it, oil fill cap is right there. So I've got a good funnel that I'm going to be using. Oil dipstick goes down over there. I've already pulled it out, cleaned it off, so it's ready to go back in. And for this one, I'm going to be using the Valvoline Restore and Protect 5W20, as you can see. So this one is designed not only as a synthetic oil, but also designed to like clean up carbon deposits and such inside of your engine. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this in there. It does have 220,000 miles, so definitely want to do all that I can to help out the engine possibly. Got the Fram Guard Extra Guard, so that's got like up to 10,000 miles, which I'm not going to go even close to that before either selling it or before I change the oil. Like, I don't do that. I do like 5 max. So, but I'm going to be going and putting this in it because I've got no idea what the history is. So anything to possibly help the motor, that'll be good for it. So that's what I'm going to be throwing in there once I get it all drained out. They want to mention I'm kind of not a fan of where they've got the oil filler on top of this F-150. So they've got it where this thing is kind of covering it up. So, and it's at an angle rather than sitting square on top. So you kind of have to put this at an angle and hope that you don't overfill it and it doesn't start flowing down the side. Like, it's just kind of a pain. I changed the oil on my Dodge Ram that I bought to flip, my first truck flip, and it was just sitting right on top. This thing fit right down inside of there, and it was super easy. Whereas this one, it's going to be definitely a little bit more challenging to pour, because this one takes 6 quarts. So a little bit more challenging to pour that 5-quarter into this, especially when I'm getting started because of the angle. And then I've also got to watch down there and make sure it's not, you know, flowing out of there because of I've got too much in there or something. So kind of annoying on their part to have it sitting in there kind of wonky like this. So next is the oil filter. So I already got the plug back in on that. So to pop that out should just be a twist. Now with where this is located, you can see I'm probably going to get oil all over this, as looks like some people already have. There's a bunch of like oil residue all underneath there. So that's kind of annoying with the location of it. There's also some electronics right here as well. So it's like, okay, why in the world would you put it right on top of where there's some electronics at, you know, when you're going to get oil on stuff when you pull it off. So as I'm doing it, I'm going to try and tilt it away from those electronics that are sitting there. But again, like the people who designed the truck, why in the world would you do that? Come on forward. Now, of course, whoever put this on last time made it as tight as possible. Y'all, you don't have to use a wrench to put these on. It only has to be hand tight. Knock it off. Now, one thing is, if you're laying on the underside like I am here, so I've got this up on ramps, you're laying on the underside, this is going to turn that way. Okay, so towards the driver's side if you're laying on the underside. So it'll twist towards the driver's side. That's going to be to loosen it up. I've got it about halfway loose. As you can see, I have mangled the heck out of it with my pliers because of course it's on super tight. Now a little tip, if you unscrew it just a smidge, it's going to leak out from there instead of leaking out all over. Now I'm still going to get it all over when I pull the filter all the way off. but it's leaking out from there, so it's not actively running on those electronics. But man, it is just, the design on this is just bad. And of course it was cranked on there by a Valvoline tech, because for some reason they feel like they have to make them as tight as humanly possible. This is the second one that I've done or changed that had a Valvoline oil filter, which, you know, it's obviously going to be changed at Valvoline. I don't know of anybody who's actually ordering Valvoline oil filters, but my guess is changed at Valvoline, and of course made it as tight as possible. You can kind of see what I had to do to get the stupid thing off of there. Ready to put on the new filter, got a splash of oil in there, and of course got that new oil up on that ring. So let's put it in place. And we are in. Again, just hand tightened. I always throw a rag on the end where the little grips are, just so I can get a little bit more grip, because you're gonna drip oil on it. Just if you put halfway any oil in it at all, you're gonna get drip oil as you put it up there, because they're in sideways rather than straight up and down like many of them are. So that's on. Now let's go ahead and add the oil.